All right. So out of all the research I've done, they have a couple of informations they've actually used, and I know how they build some of those stuff. If you are in the 123, and this is their second IP address. And if you look at their second IP address, I know I told you guys that we haven't gone too far. This is their topology that indicates exactly they launched it. This is the one from the UK. With this, you can know the information of those who actually their real phone number, their real devices. And when you make some research on it, I don't want you guys to start getting people's information now, but there are ways where you can get all this information. And this is how their stuff actually goes. This is their second IP. And when you look at what they did, they also set up the same thing for Apple devices. So they set it up for anyone who is actually using iPhone. They can get all your information. And the one I did through burpsuite, I think I've already blocked that one. I already canceled that one. Mm, Now, there's an application here they call AndroRat. Now, this app that I built here, that is here, if I copy this file and I send it to you and you click on it, I have all the information of that phone. The only way for that phone to be useful again to you that I would not have access to it is for you to format the phone. Even if you try to uninstall, there is no way out of it until you format that device. That is the only savior. Your antivirus is not going to help you. Nothing is going to help you until you format that device. That's the only thing. And I will have both your WhatsApp. Maybe you like you put 10-step authentication, 20-step authentication. That is your cup of tea. I have access to everything. Even when you are pressing the keyboard, the keypad of your phone, I can have access to all those things. So that is the work of AndroRat. I can turn on the camera of your phone when I like, turn on the mic of your phone whenever I like. All these things are all possible. So if perhaps you have registered with CBEX, make sure if it's possible, format your phone, change your email address. If it's the one that is linked with your bank, make sure you go change your email address. There's nothing wrong in you being secured because after a period of time, these people will start going one after the other. Like if I'm gathering information on you, I can leave you for the next 6 months so that I can wait maybe when you are very wealthy, maybe you are expecting a contract and they send you money. That's the moment a criminal can decide to pull out the money from your account. So let's be guided on CBEX issue. Before we proceed on today's class, one more or two more questions about our previous class. If there's any challenge or you understood everything we did in our previous class. What's that? King 9, your mic is not
Yes,
working properly.
Hello,
I
sir.
have a question.
Okay. All right, sir.
Yes, I want to discuss regarding the testing website, the Von Web. We're able to, because when I get after the class, I was able to go through it and break through it,
Your
but I
mic
have
has been.
difficulty in interpreting the code.
Interpreting the
It
code.
brings a code different from, yes. For example, the username is
Okay.
test and the password is test. So
Mm.
Yeah. So when I copy the code to the website, so it always bring an error, but it's actually the code that actually break through it when I use the
Did you
application
copy? Did you
to
copy?
break through it. But
Did you copy the code? Did you copy the code from the exactly the one that is attacking it, or you copied the one that it has actually pasted there and it says this is the code on the text aspect? When you're attacking a website, let me just put it this way. Example, but okay, let's say I want to use let's not use brute force attack. Let's use a different attack, a simple list. Let's say oopsie. Let's say I add color and I say test. Sorry, I say test, and then I decide to start attack on. Let me put it back to sniper. Okay, and then let's assume this was successful. Let us just assume this was successful. Was it this code you copied, or it was this code you copied, the one in this area? Is this the one you copy, or the one in the payload that showed around the payload?
I didn't copy the one that showed the payload. I copied the one that number 15,
Yeah, yeah.
the username test. And yeah, so that
Okay,
is the one
okay.
I copied.
That's where you're making the mistake from. The actual one, because it is being encoded, the actual one you're going to copy is the one on the payload. So if you use any SQL injection, what you need to do is to copy exactly that one that executes the program that make it successful. You are going to copy it, and you will look if there's a space, you put a space. If there is column, you put column. If there's plus, you just make sure exactly how it is. That is what you're going to put in. And once you do that, you're definitely going to be successful with breaking in. As far as SQL is vulnerable to SQL injection.
Okay, thank you very much. But last question. Um, can we break through a username and a password at the same time, or we have to do it one after the other when
Now it
penetrating?
depends also. Yeah, it depends on the website. There are some websites like Facebook, they have admin and you can break into the admin, but the only thing is what's your interest. Sometimes you want to break into the admin might be more challenging, but if I have someone's email, to break into the person's password is more easier, more flexible to do that. But I can
Okay.
also break as an admin. You can also break as an admin and then go into it. But let me say this, most of the things people register go straight to SQL database and what we call server, the server database. Some of them may not have your information, but to the CBEX one, they had your information because port 80 was actually open in the website. But most of them, they would be in the server. So if you log in as the admin, then you are going to be having communication with the server to retrieve data from that place. And you might see too many data and you would not even know who you are going for because the data will just be excess. You can have excessive data and you don't know. Maybe while you're, let's put it this way, let's say the name of the person you are looking for is kolawole@gmail.com. Now you will realize that the password that works for kolawole@gmail.com might be different, and another person might open something as kolawole1@gmail.com, kolawole2@gmail.com, kolawole3@gmail.com. The question is, how can you find it all? Because the lists are going to be much. We haven't really seen lists. When you see a lot of lists, then you will realize it is kind of difficult. Let's put it for example. If I say I want to bring in, you can see how simple this website is now, this test.php that we're using. Let's say I decide to bring in a website like Temu, because that will be the next assignment. So if you think that this one is difficult, I'm going to give more difficult ones. Before I start explaining it, I want to see how you guys can. Come on, let's say I use temu.com on a website. I open anything. It's off. Okay, Temu is just loading. Now, if Temu is done loading, and I ask you just only the first page of Temu, you are going to see a lot of lists. Now, comparing that to say you want to go after a file there, if you don't understand the file, it will be difficult for you to access it. So it is always better if you want to go for an individual, just get the email address of that. Looks like I'm asking you to go after somebody. But for example, let's say you want to be, it's always good to have the username of the person or the username of the organization that you want to test their website, and then you brute force the the password. I would only say this. If I'm going as an admin, maybe I just want to do something that is worse than just um, gathering information on that particular individual. Or maybe I just want to do something terrible. But this is the website. It's not even downloading. Okay. I don't have time for it. But the information here to gather when you begin to log into something like Temu, you will realize that there are a couple of information for you to be able to get into where the login page is. It's going to be a little bit more challenging. And that's why I want you to experience that. And imagine, for those who have been able to get it, I really recommend them, and I really think they did a great job in the sense that that particular website was actually under Cloudflare. Cloudflare is one of the most secured place that you can put a website that it is difficult for you to break in and gather information and know where their logins are, and you to even make attempts to break into it. So for those who have been able to get it, then that means you are doing very great. And people would, it's just a matter of time, people would respect you for what you're capable of doing. Let me not let this thing slow down my system. Maybe I will frame it from this other end. Let me, I think today's class I will do it from this other, I'll run it from this other system. Let me stop sharing. Someone says my question, checking the method, the post came with a test. The title did not show anything. Two, I need more clarity on request query and body param. Mine is different from what you showed from your end. When I try to clear cookies, it asks if I want to clear all payload. Yours did not show that. Mm, it's difficult for me to understand. Let me share my screen from the other system because this system is kind of slow.
Hello, sir. I,
Yeah.
please, I have a question as well. Maybe you're going to treat everything together.
Okay.
When I was trying to do the penetration, I experienced two things. The first thing is under my targets, under my
Mm,
scope, the site was downloaded. I tried it many times, even like 2 3 days. I tried it, but the only thing that does not appear under my scope is the login page. No matter how much I try the login page, it wasn't appear under the scope, which happened to the targets. So what I do was I have to go under my proxy. So under the proxy history, so this is why I can only find the
yeah.
login page. So
Exactly.
I have to send it to intruder from that angle. So all the SQL injection that I find everywhere doesn't work for both the usernames and everything. So not until I was able to get their their login mail, their default mail to log in on the web. So when I get the default mail, so I have about 6 or 7 SQL injection that was able to log into to the portal. Well, I've been trying to send, but my I don't know what happened. The network is not connected to my PC. I've been trying to. I even have sent it on WhatsApp through PC, but it's not going at all. So that's why.
Uh,
So I want to ask that what was the problem? Why is it that I was unable to see the login page under the scope under my targets? And again, uh, when I log into that portal, I saw they said they gave me something to buy or whatever like this. So I was like, are they selling? Is it a kind of material that will be used for us, or do we get that through code? Because I can see the way I was working on the site, they keep on pumping a lot of success progress, like you're 90%, this like this and that. So I want to ask more about that. So because I'm just coming to realize that that site is more heavier than the one of the touch PHP that we have been using before. And even AI let me realize that
exactly.
the kind of SQL that I've been trying for the site cannot work on the site because the kind of very uh, strong website apart from the SPHP. So that's my question, sir. So
Ex-
why is it that particular login page does not reflect under this something? The more I'm trying, I try it, stuff and back. Even AI told me to send it back from under the proxy. So I try to send it back to the target. So it doesn't appear. The only time it appears is when the network was not good. So and under my this thing, the response was application error. So can you please share me light on that, sir?
Yeah, I actually ask you to go after a website that I know is difficult. In fact, some of you that have been able to get to the junction where you are, I wasn't expecting that you would get there. I was actually not expecting that you would get there, but some of you were able to surprise me in a sense that this one, I don't know what's wrong with it. Maybe I have to restart it. Uh, what you are saying is that some of the websites you would not find them under targets because they were under Cloudflare, and because they are under Cloudflare, it will be very. It is a website that is very, very protected. Now, the highest place you can ever protect your website from is Cloudflare, and that particular website is under Cloudflare. So for you to get it, it's not going to appear, the informations are not going to appear under target. They would appear under proxy, and it is under history. They would appear. So I wasn't even expecting that someone is going to come up with the intelligence of going towards that HTTP history. But for some of you that have done it, you guys actually got it. For you to even guess coming back to this place and then finding your way to, start making your brute force attack, I think you have done well. You just need more. more things to brush around this stuff. So I think you are fine. It is simply because the website is under Cloudflare. That is why you are having challenges with that. Let me try this other system. Maybe I will restart this other one
Okay, all right, sir.
while I
Please,
try
sir,
this.
I remember one more question, sir.
Yeah,
Okay, the question is,
let me share my.
I saw you are in the last class. You talk about this all codes, all syntax code that we have in programming. Like we have HTML, URL, and some other things
All.
under our sorry, under our intro there.
Yeah.
So I want to. I was just trying to because you've told us that many of these websites, the password, even the administrative password, is hidden on in these languages. So I read to a level
Yeah.
whereby the AI told me that I can get a password from I think from the page or the body area. So I have to copy out all those codes. I was trying to translate the code. So with AI, but the AI refused to translate it for me. So, but I have to go back down to the page, and because I can see that I can compact those page, I mean those codes to plain text, or from plain text to code. So I try all my best to do that in that angle, but I wasn't successful. So if there is any light that you can share us on that as well, sir.
Okay. What is the major question now?
The major question is how do I translate all those codes to plain text
Okay.
and get
We are
the
not. The only thing is we are not there yet. You may try to decode whatever is being encoded. You would have issues with it for now until we get to the application. You might not even get it more on this burpsuite. You might get a different application that could help you decode some of those things more in a better language. Can you decode through burpsuite? Yes. But sometimes it is a bit more challenging decoding it through burpsuite. But there are other applications you can use in decoding it and then bringing it back to burpsuite, and it will help you along the line. So that's just it.
okay, all right, sir. All right, sir. All right, sir.
But let's
Thank you.
let's touch on what we want to work on today. Yeah, yeah. Let's quickly dive into today's class. Um, I would make it short simply because I want others to work on that same website. I want to see their efforts before we proceed. But I will teach us something today on what we call brute force attack. Now, the work of brute force attack is completely different from sniper attack. Sniper attack is the one whereby um, it goes after a particular password. Maybe you are trying to use SQL injection on a particular password or a particular username or a particular login page. Now, the brute force attack is the one that can take multiple information. Let's say alphabet A to Z. It can take all those particular things and turn all of them together, mix them all together to find a password that is going to match with a username. If you put in a password, it can definitely, if you put inside an alphabet, it is going to mix everything together. It is more, um, it's kind of attacks more than, what do you call the name? More than the sniper attack or even SQL injection when you are trying to guess password. And I'll tell you this, that the moment you are very good at using brute force attack, I think there's close to no website that might be difficult for you to break into as long as you know their username. It's more or less like it's a turn up. It's just like that's the end. I hope this is going to open. All right. So I would have loved to start using the Juice Shop website right now. but the rest of us needs to understand how it works. So I will give you the grace between now and Tuesday to work on it. Now sign up. After the sign up, let's say that the username is test. Let's say the password, we don't know the password, and the password is WERTVYB. I just make all kinds of password. And then we finally found the stuff. What the person who was asking the question earlier was asking, he was saying something about proxy. That means you can come to HTTP history. If you can't find some websites that their login is hidden here, sometimes you might not be able to find it on that target. You can come to proxy and come to HTTP history, and then you will see whatever is hidden there. So every time it's not about targets. Yes, the informations can be
Upload
here,
the assignment.
but sometimes, yes, but sometimes they can be hidden under HTTP history. I've just given you an expo that I'm not supposed to give you guys. So back to today's class. Now let's say this is user, that's the user page, and we say send to intruder. And you guys realize that earlier, once we say send to intruder, we can now highlight the password because we know the username, and we say add. And this is where the beautiful side comes in. Remember that in sniper attack, we just have to paste the payload here. And when we paste the payload or SQL injection or various kind of password, the sniper attack begins to break into them one after the other. But now, let us go into another one. This one, they call it brute forcer. Now, when you click on this and you click on brute forcer, what you are trying to do here is that I don't know this person's password, but I know that the character that should be in this password, you can put in full stop, you can put in all kinds of symbols. You can add all kinds of symbols. Let's just say, for example, we want to guess on a neutral way. Let's say we assume that there's going to be T in the person's password. We think that there might be H in the person's password, U in the person's password, D in the person's. Oh, I shouldn't make it too long so we should be able to understand what I'm saying. Let's say there will be E, S. Okay, sorry. Let's say it is T, S, T, E, and then maybe there's F. Maybe there's I in the password. And then we say the length at which it should turn the password is 44. That means we want you to use 4-letter words to test this particular password. But because of our time, you can realize that once I put the I there, the payload at the top, looking at the payload here, payload count, it shows 1,200. That means only this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-letter words, it's going to mix them up in different angles to make sure it's used them to form a sentence that will match with the password. So let's say, let's remove the I. Just look at it. As I remove the I, how many did you see here? You see 624. So if I put 6YT, you can see that it has gone to 4,096. I would like to remove them because of the sake of our class. And so we have 6,024. Let me just make it more easier and let me know. Okay, now I'm breaking it in a sense whereby it says TSTE. We don't know the password, but we just say TSTE. Let us now make a combination of this TSTE, which we can add many letter words. We can make them 20-letter words, 100-letter words. We can add all kind of symbols, and it's going to predict it, but it's going to take time. So just saying I'm mixing this up. Let us now start an attack. on this password. And you click OK.
Sorry, sir. Is it still on sniper attack?
No, it's on brute force attack.
Okay.
So you can see now that it's mixing up. Oh, it's mixing up everything together. Each alphabet is trying to combine them. Is it SETT? Is it TETT? Is it TTST? STST? TSST? SSST? It's going to mix them up. TSST. And you can see the status code that it is the status code is showing 302. So it's yet to get anything. Now TEST. It has done one combination here. And this is a password. Now it still keep practicing or trying to mix everything together to see anyone, but it has actually gotten the major one here, which is let me remove. This is the right one that it's been able to pick. It is very simple as ABC, but it is very effective. Did you understand it? Remember, the payload type is brute force attack. It doesn't mean I can decide to add 20, but remember, because of our class, if I add mix up all these things, it will still get the password, but it's going to be 50 count
Hello, sir.
50,625. So let me say yeah,
Hello, sir. Excuse me, sorry, sir. You don't
yeah,
change
I can
the
hear you.
attack, which is the sniper, to brutal force when you want to give the command.
Yeah, you can still use buttering ram attack, but what I changed here was that this is always on simple list. This is where the real change come from, the brute forcer.
Okay.
So this is brute forcer.
Sir, what if when you don't have any idea of how the password even looks like? Because I think why we're able to do this thing is because we actually have the idea of the password. You
Exactly what I
understand?
No,
wanted
What
to
it's
if,
ask.
basically
what
because
if
of
the
our
password?
class.
What if the password
It's
is the
because
combination of numbers and all the rest of it?
look at it. Look at it, for example. This is only what it will take. Let me say I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I say QWESRTYUIPASDFGHIJKL ZXCVBNM. These are just all the things. But how many do you see on the payload here? That means it's about to count all the old alphabets and numbers. There are about 1,679,616.
Ah,
Hello, sir. For
So if I
example,
decide to get the password from this particular end, it will get it, but it will take time. So if I say start attack, it's going to take a lot of time, but it will get the password no matter what.
example, sir. But what if we use a caller as a password and we try to search it? Will it still bring out the correct password?
No, if you use color, it wouldn't. The reason is this. I think this is only where you guys need to understand it. Now, how many alphabets do we have? I think we have about 26 alphabets, right? And how many numbers do we have? I
26.
think we have 9. We have 9 or 10. That's 0 to 9. Let's just say 10. Now, if you mix 0 to 9 and you mix alphabets also, sorry, alphabet and 0 to 9, which is numbers, it
Okay, I
can
get you.
mix all these particular digits together with the alphabet. It will mix them up until it gets the correct password, as long as an alphabet that that person include is there, as long as a number that that person has included is part of it. So let me say this thing: if you have a password on your email address or whatever, your password should have number. Maybe 1 or 2 might be you might include it in your password. Maybe 3 or 4 you might include it in your password. But if I put it 0 to 9, your password can never be safe. I will get you. If if as much as you put in alphabets and numbers, it's going to mix everything up till you get it. It is because of our class. For example, let me say now, I don't know the password, but let's just make an adjustment here. Let's say that there is D and I put T and I put F and I put E and I put S and I put T. Sorry, let me not put it that way. I put G, I put T and I put E. Now, is this a password? But if I put it, one thing is this, and I put S. Now, as long as I have typed the alphabet that could be inside the person's password, all I have to do is to put in the alphabet and measure the amount of password that it can be there, that could be there. And all I need to do is to say start attack, because this is brute forcer. Imagine just these particular ones that I've mixed together. All this is equal 4,096 brute force attack. So if I say start, now it will mix everything up: DDD, TDD, FDD, EDD, and it's going to continue the attack until it's going to mix everything up until it's able to predict the password. Now, you know, the real password does not have D in it. The real password does not have G in it, but I just mixed them up.
Please, what if there's a symbol in between the password?
Now, we are going to also practice on that. You can include symbol without you knowing SQL injection. You can build your own symbol, and it will use that symbol to build your own SQL injection, and you can attack the website with it. As far as those things are part of it, is going to get it. Okay, you see TEDD, FEDD, EDD, it's going to mix everything up. TEDD, yeah, okay.
Okay, sir. So you can only use the brute forcer when you know the username.
Yes, once you know the username, you can
That is
use
the
brute
one.
forcer, because
Okay, that's when
once
you
you
can
know
use.
the
Yeah, please continue.
continue.
I say we can only use
Continue.
brute forcer when we know the username. We cannot use it for password and username.
You can use it both for username and for
For
password.
password.
I am only giving you this first aspect of it. You can
Okay,
use
sir.
it both for username to gather the username of even an admin. You can use it to get a username of an admin. So,
All right.
for example, mix it up. You can use it to gather the email address of an admin,
Okay.
because the email of an admin must always be in between alphabets and um, either Gmail or Yahoo. So if I say Yahoo, Gmail, Outlook, mail.com, and I put in all those things and I put at and I put all the old alphabets, whatever belongs to that website, it is going to gather it will definitely gather the admin's username.
Okay.
There is no
And
website it wouldn't do it,
and
except you
at
don't know
the
your way around.
and at the length that is 4 4. How do we determine
Mm.
that place at the
Now,
length?
that is where the job is. That is where the job is. And that is the reason why we ask you, and I always say this, when you see people who call themselves maybe cybersecurity or ethical hacker or penetration tester, why do they have more than one system or two systems? It is because when they want to go for something, they have to distribute it in many areas. And you can realize that when you are coming to the class before you came, I specifically said you must have at least a laptop of so giga RAM, blah blah blah. Now, when we move to a particular level to the next program that which is Kali, you can run Bob suits in Kali, you can run Bob suits in what do they call it on the Windows. You can open Bob suits here like four times, and if you open them, you can decide to say my prediction is you are more or less like a Baba Jebu person. My prediction is this password could be 12, could be 10, could be 15, could be 16. And you can set up all those things in different page of the Bob suite. And then it is going to mix up all the old alphabets together, all the old symbols together, all the old numbers together, and it's going to get you. I haven't in my history of going for attack, this become one of my best weapons. I would definitely get the username and I'll definitely get the password. There's no
Okay, sir.
escape route.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Hello. Please, sir.
yeah.
I want to just bring an opinion, please. I think this one that we are trying to run now is just wasting our time. Can you have
Mm.
mentioned another example of getting email and some other valuable things that we can use to track better? Why can't we just quit
Yeah.
this and go for another example of such so that since we've gotten the answer of this before and we know how it is right now?
I just want to be sure that you guys understand how this thing works. Because what it is only doing is that it is mixing everything up and it will mix it till it gets it. Because right now you can see that it's still in 100 and we have about 4,000, blah, blah, blah.
So
So if
that's
you
why
think you
I
have
bring
understood
the idea.
exactly how it works, if you think you understand how it works, then that's fine. We can move ahead.
So I
Could
don't
we
know if the
proceed?
community, I don't know if others are okay with it, but I think we should move on
Hey,
to other examples.
if they want to see a result, if they would like to see a result, that's fine.
For me, I don't think this thing will load before our stipulated time. So me, I still suggest we do some other things. Maybe carry this one as an assignment. My humble opinion. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All
But
right. All
I
right.
think
Do
I
we
think
agree?
yes, what I want to say is that what the teacher is doing is very important because if we understand it very well, we can be able to think and do a lot of things on our own. Because if we move to another example and this one is not well assimilated, we still face challenges ahead. Remember, we are talking about cyber security, which is like putting puzzles together. So putting puzzles together, he can show us even 10 examples. But in the real world, in the real life, when challenges come, we have to know how to put those puzzles together to be able to solve it. So I think having a good base is more important. With research and other things, I think we can build it up and see how we can think out when something comes up.
Okay. What we are going to do, since I'm making use of another system, what I would do now is to open this other one. While this one is loading, we'll come back to it and we'll continue with another different analogy from this other system. Let me load it up.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Mm, 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 mm.
Believe me, even before we come back to this loading, it has not even gone up to half.
Mhm. So that's the reason why you need a very fast system. Though the reason why it is slow is because I am running it from Kali. If I was running it from Windows, it would be a bit faster. The reason is because I reduced the memory of the Kali, so it's kind of slow. Um, Sorry, let me just quickly log in. And I think network is a bit slow also. Maybe fast now. Mm, mm. I think I've stopped sharing. Oh, why this one is kind of slow. Mm. All right. So I've done some heavy duties on my system. I think I need to transfer some files away. Let's just use test.php.phoneweb.com. All right. Now we will repeat it, but this time we are going to repeat it with something different. Let's say we use the username. Let's say we get the username. Please, it would work both on username, but I just want us to, because of our class, you are going to practice with this. All right. So let's say we want to work on this also. Um, Now let's send to intruder. Why we send it to intrude? Is this no user info? Okay, we can send this to intruder. All right. And then we say this is the password this individual put here. And then remember, under this payload, I decide to click simple list. Most of this attack you're seeing here, they are mostly similar until we get to the aspect of where we would use cluster bomb attack. For now, we can keep it mostly on battering ram attack. And then let's say brute forcer. Now in the brute forcer, we don't know this password. We can say, let's use 6. Maximum length, let's say we want to use 6. And then in this password, the character we are setting for it, let's say we want to set up character like um, we use plus, we use things like or. Now we are building our own SQL. We use space, we use 1, we use this, we use space, we use let's say, how do we, let's just put it this way, 6 equal blah 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 blah. And then we don't know which one is the password. We wanted to mix it up together, but this is kind of a little bit much because of our class. Let's just start the attack. Let's see what happens. Now it is mixing them up to build a payload of its own. This is 200, but it's not working. Let me look at the response. Okay, you have an error in your SQL syntax. So it is building its own SQL. Please, do we understand exactly what I'm doing here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, perfectly well.
So yeah, so what we are doing right now is building different type of SQL payload that it can use. It's already getting close, and that's the reason why we are seeing something like this. So if I put in all kinds of symbols or numbers, I can use various symbols and numbers to generate multiple kinds of payload without me even going to copy any payload. The only reason why I know it's not working is basically because of the length information. This might be an assignment depending because it's still in 48, 49, and we have 531,441. Mm. So this
Whenever
becomes Yeah, you want to ask
Okay,
a
yes.
question?
If I click on any of those response, I'll be seeing 400 bad requests. When I click on
Which
render,
one?
I
400
mean,
bad requests.
yes, 400 bad requests. Whenever I click on
Yeah,
any
if
of
you
those
view,
password.
no, well, you can either click on it or you can double click on it. Perhaps if let's just say you want to go for
Okay.
number 58, you can just double click on it, or you can even choose the color for it and then double click. Sorry, you double click and it brings out the page. So you can view whatever you want to view in case maybe the numbers are just scrolling. This might take a whole day, and that's why you see that some attackers will just attack, set up. This is more or less like you setting a trap, just like an hunter. This brute force attack, it's more or less like you being an hunter, and you just set up an attack, and then you walk away and you come back. Or like a fisherman, you set your hook and your nets, and when you come back, the fish are there. So if I'm setting up a payload and putting equal to, it's going to mix everything up. And just with that little number that I have, it is already mixing 531, 441. This other one is still in 220. While they are still working, I would like somebody in the class to share their screen and just show me exactly what I did. So I am sure at least certain individuals have gotten it. And I know you can always have conversation with each other on the platform.
I would
So
like to share my
somebody should
screen,
share
but I
their
don't know how
screen.
I can share it
Or
because I'm using a phone and then my laptop. I'm connecting to the class with the phone.
what you have to do is send that link to either your Gmail,
Okay, okay, okay. I'm doing
yeah,
that
and then
now.
click the
I'll
link
send it to
from
my
there
PC now.
so you can,
Okay.
yeah. So even an email address without you knowing the email address of that new shop, if you put in every alphabet that could be there, it will give you the right email address. So that might take some time. There are still various shortcuts to this, but we are not there yet. One thing you can do is, okay, I think this one got password. This one, okay. And let me let you understand this. While one is actually working, what you can also do is you can still decide to set up a different payload also to continue working. So that means you can come here and say intruder. Let's cancel this. Let's say one payload is actually working. We can say, okay, I want to set up another payload. And you can still say, why I like this and this is running. Let me set up another type of payload and say uh, equal to 1 or let's say 1. Let's put this column. And then we can start another attack. Remember, it's under brute force attack. This can be bottom ram attack, and then we say start attack. So another one is running. Why this is running? This is the first one. This is still in 122 running. So we can decide to change the number. We can set up another one. You can still set up another one,